going on, Ted?
Not much. Just got settled in and figured out this Zoom thing.
Yeah, man. Well, you made it. You made it. We're here. That's all that matters. I appreciate you taking the time and jumping on here. You are out in North Dakota, I believe, right?
Yep, tropical North Dakota.
Tropical North Dakota with ice all over the roads and everything right now, right?
7 below zero right now.
Wow. I am down here in South Florida, and it is the complete opposite.
I'll be coming to visit you soon.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to hopefully on one of our adventure trips or one of our camping or something like that. So, Ted, I was kind of talking about you before you got on here. You just got on with Easy Pay. Let's kick off this testimonial. I've been telling people this is one of my favorite calls because it's unscripted. I do not have a list here, and you don't know what I'm going to ask. So let's just get this party started here. So the first thing I want to ask you is, did you have merchant sales experience before, or is this like brand new for you?
I haven't done merchant sales before, but I've done quite a bit of sales throughout my life. Yeah.
What's kind of
I've sold everything from radio advertising to rock phosphate, you name it.
Gotcha. So have you done door-to-door sales, or how has the sales that you've done in the past been?
More with a lead list, not really door to door. This is one of my first times doing door to door, but the process that you put together is pretty self-explanatory. And as long as you follow the steps, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just roll with it.
Perfect. So let's talk about that. Okay. So we have some people that come in here. You've got 3 deals, and you basically got it on the field. We were kind of talking about this, last Wednesday, last Thursday. It's fair to say you've been in the field for a week, right? Here we are on Thursday. 3 deals. I know you've got a lot in the pipeline. How are you doing that, right? You don't come from merchant service experience. How are you doing that? Now, kind of before you answer that, I just want to make a point that a lot of people make this complicated, right? And it's in the training, like, keep this simple. So what exactly are you doing that's getting you the success? Because I know you got a bunch in the pipeline on top of the 3 you've closed.
Following the 5 steps to a conversation has been huge. Basically, the steps that you laid out made this idiot proof. I mean, as long as you follow what it is and stay within the parameters of the training, you can't go wrong.
That's music to my ears, and really cut and dry, right? Like really to the point. So you have been watching the videos. You've been in the 28-day course. Is that where you're getting all of that?
Yeah, I'm on the 28-day course, and then I found a couple of your pitch presentations on YouTube, and I don't watch TV. I don't, like, when I'm at work, I listen to training. When I'm in the vehicle going from place to place, I'm not listening to the radio. I'm listening to one of the training units that's going to help me either get through the pitch or the close, or like any part that I felt that my last presentation was lacking. I go back and I search through all the training videos to find something that addresses that. And that's what I listen to as I drive to my next meeting.
Perfect. So I know there's a lot of other people that are either on this call or they're going to end up watching the recording. They're sitting there thinking like, well, I'm watching the training. I watch the videos too. So I'm trying to figure out what that edge is that you have. So when you go in, are you pretty friendly? Are you straight to the point, or like, what's your style? Because we're all different, right? You're not doing the exact same thing as me, right? You might say the same lines.
I'm not doing it.
So what's kind of your demeanor? What's your angle when you're going into doors and you're so effective? So I kind of want to break down the science of what you're doing.
I basically open up with I know you're busy, so I'm not going to take a lot of your time. And this isn't everybody's favorite subject, but by the time I leave, I think it might be at least a little bit better. And I go right into, every time you run a card, you pay a fee on the back end. Well, I'm here to see if I can get rid of that for you. And if I can, would you give me 5 minutes? And that's how I start. And it's been really successful for me. So
yeah,
just following basically what you laid out and applying my own personality to it.
Yeah. And that's so huge right there. That's gonna be our first golden nugget. We talk about this, like, we can give you the information, we can give you the training, we can give you the support, but you have to be you about it. And that's kind of what I wanted to get out of your aunt. That's what I was kind of hoping for. You literally just said it. You're taking the information, but you are being you about it. You're not trying to, be me. You're not trying to be Dustin. You're not trying to be Nick. You are being you, using what works. That's so important that we talk about this, but it's different when they hear it from a brand new person's mouth themselves directly, right?
Yeah.
And
Honestly, with the repetitive training that you have, especially overcoming objections, that's been really helpful. Every time I get into a situation where I got a mouthful of marbles and I'm talking to somebody and I forget the training, I go right back. I kind of take some notes from that meeting and I get back on the training and figure out what I missed, and then I re-edge that until I get it down.
yeah,
And like I said, I'm not taking it word for word, but I'm following the process. That's I think the key principle there.
yep, it's music to our ears, man. It works. I think it's what a lot of people need to hear. And you're 1 week in, and hopefully we don't have this conversation in 1 week from now or 2 weeks from now. But what a lot of people do is they come in and they get their first couple of deals, and we all do it. I used to do it all the time. You have to be conscious where you start to tweak things, right? You start off
Yep.
hot, and if in 1 week from now you're not on the same hot streak, you'll go back and you'll be like, when did I start saying that? Like you added a little line that you weren't doing before, and you make these little tweaks. So as your journey progresses, maybe this is just a reminder ahead of time. And for a lot of you out there, if you started hotter than where you're at right now, kind of go back and evaluate, right? That's kind of what the training, like you even use the word, the repetitive training. It is very repetitive because it's all about those fundamentals. So if you're ever off track, I used to have to check myself all the time. Like, I'm off track of the basics. You go back to the basics, and then all of a sudden it pops off again. So going into a little bit about Easy Pay in general, obviously you're running into scenarios that are new to you. Like, do you feel like you know everything? Right, you're 1 week in. Do you feel like you
Nope.
have all the
I
answers?
don't feel like I know everything, but I know enough to be dangerous.
Yeah, you know enough to go get accounts, right? So
Exactly.
do you know all the point of sale systems that we offer, Ted?
Not all of them. I've got kind of a brief, like a general overview of them.
Yeah.
But whenever I get into trouble, or if I get to that position, I'm going to call you or Nick
Yeah,
and
exactly.
use the resources that I've got.
Yeah. Do you understand, the flow of the money on the back end? When someone runs a card through the terminal, do you understand how the money moves around and gets to their bank account? Do you understand that? No. Do you understand what interchange is? Do you understand how Visa determines what the rates are and all that stuff?
Nope, that's not my job.
That's my point. Okay. A lot of people come into this and they feel like they have to know it all. And this is going to drive you analytical people, batshit crazy, because I know you want to know everything. But the people that are successful right out of the gate in their first week, they kind of swallow the pill that they have to learn as they go. So obviously you didn't know the answer to all of those questions, but let me ask you, do you know more now 1 week later than you did a week ago because you went out there and you're actually getting real life experience? Do you feel like you've got a lot of knowledge? Talk about that. Why is that important?
Well, with a combination of the training calls that we've had Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and this week Monday and Wednesday, I think that should be part of everybody's regimen. If you're missing those calls, you're definitely missing, number one, a motivational factor, and number two, vital resources that remind you to go back to the foundation. I mean, you can't build a house without a foundation, and that's exactly what you're giving us. And I'm trying to build a house on it.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job. You're following all the, like, we give you a couple of basic things, like, hey, here's what top producers do, and you have followed all of them. Going back to the knowledge, I know you kind of hit on it. What are you doing? You go into a business, they ask you a question, you don't know the answer. What do you do in that scenario?
I show them how quick our support is, and I call it Nick, and Nick is boom on the phone right there with the answers. And I mean, I didn't close that particular one, but that's one of those ones where I'm gonna have to go back to, and I will get it, plain and simple. But what was impressive to them is how fast I could actually get somebody on the other end.
Yeah.
And I think that was huge, to be able to have somebody there that answers the questions that I don't quite know, and like ties it all together. It also, like I said, it demonstrates the customer support that we have, both from a sales standpoint, but also as a merchant service, opportunity for these people.
Yeah. And, we end up with a lot of people on here that are in the industry. And again, people that will end up watching it. And a lot of people don't necessarily have that. That's one of the biggest things that we're really proud of with Easy Pay, is that what you just said. Like, everyone you're calling has done this, right? Nick closes merchant accounts. He might have helped you close some of yours, like over the phone. Like, you're calling people that have that experience. So we know how important it is, especially when you're new and you need answer, you need help. You don't need it in 30 minutes from now. Like, I'm with the merchant right now. Have you ever called in, like, I've got a hot merchant and had to wait, not like
No,
wait more than 10 seconds, but had to wait for a pickup?
no, not at all. I mean, it's usually within 2 or 3 rings at the very most.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good job, Nick. I know Nick is on here watching it. So kudos to Nick. We love the support, and that's fundamental, right? We talk about this in our morning meetings. Talk about the morning meetings, man. What are you getting out of those? Because we try to make sure that, whether somebody, it's their first meeting or they've been on 30 meetings, that there's a reason for them to show up, or they're learning something new, or something that they're going to be able to use in the field that day. So what have you gotten out of the morning meetings, and why is that important for,
I think one of the biggest things, especially when I started out, not really knowing everything, but just throwing it all to the wind and going, was the reminder of going back to the fundamentals. And you've instilled like you teach the fundamentals in a great way that allows people to adapt their own style to it. And the meetings are motivational. They're quick and to the point. There's no wasted time. There's not a lot of high fives and hurrahs. It's information, and it's very valuable.
What's funny is we used to have physical offices, and morning meetings were definitely high fives and hoorah. So like I can do that style, but I think you're a direct to the point kind of guy, and I love that style too. Like, you're really simple. Your phone calls are to the point. You get the information you need, and you're off banging doors. Just out of curiosity, you've got 3 deals done, inked, finalized. I think they're all approved, because they get approved in like 30 minutes. How many of those deals did you need help with, in terms of just like you had a question, even if it was just a basic question?
Those deals I actually closed on my own. It was a couple of the other deals that I needed help on.
Phenomenal.
And one of the key factors that I can't reemphasize enough is getting getting the app out and actually starting to fill the app out and going through that with them. Because on 2 of my closes, I basically had the app out and I was filling it out, and I said, well, the hardest part's pretty much done. We just have to fill out this front page and we're there. And that was the close. I mean, there wasn't anything more difficult than that. They just, like, there was no objection. It's like, okay, great. Where do I sign?
Do you know what we call that? You're so new, you probably don't even know that there's a word for that, right? So I have the 5 unbreakable fundamentals. What you just said is one of the fundamentals. It's the 5th one. Do you know what we call that? That transition that you literally just described? We call that the bridge to close.
Right now, I can't even think of it.
Yeah, no, it's called the bridge to close. Where so many people get held up is they're like talking, they're explaining, they're talking about how good it is, they're going to save money. This is how good our company is. Let me tell you all this cool stuff. And they just talk and talk. But where they fail is they don't know how to stop talking and transition, how to go over the bridge to do the paperwork, right?
Yeah.
All that matters, all that pays the bills, all that saves people money, all that makes people residual income is if they do the actual app. So many people get held up on that, just talk, like, to the science, man. I know you're watching everything, and that's why we teach it like that. When you have the app out, you're using it as a tool, you're showing everything, and then it allows you to bridge right into it, and it's non-threatening when you do it that way, right, Ted? You're not
Exactly.
saying, well, hey, let's do this and then pull the app out. That's going to make them like, oh shit, sales guy, he's going to try to close me now. But because you already have it out and you're like, hey, we're basically done, right? Let's just finish.
Exactly. Here, let me show you. Here, let me show you is the best line. Use the here, let me show you to get the app out. Start going through and crossing things out. Explain to them what their rate's going to be. Explain the PCI. Go through all that, and then say, like, honestly, we've done the hardest part. Let's just fill the rest of this in and get you your unit.
Fucking perfect, man. This is so perfect, guys. You're hearing it from somebody who's been doing this for 7 days. Okay. That's why we're teaching it. It works. And, part of that, Ted, I'm just going to tell you, this is not really a question, is you believe in it, right? Part of this, we all have the same information. You guys are watching the same videos, as long as you're with us or you have the 28-day course. You guys have the same information. So why are some people, doing really, really well right out of the gate, and other people been around for months having a hard time? Ted believes in the process. He absolutely knows that it works, and he's expecting that people are going to want to sign up. He's expecting he's going to find people that want to do business. And again, I don't even have to ask you that. because you're getting results. And I know that that's just how it works. So for a lot of you that are on this or will watch this, think about that. Believe, expect what you want, meaning expect people to want to do business with you because you have a great service and you're doing it right. You agree, Ted? I'm
I
kind of
agree.
speaking for you here, but you believe,
I,
right?
I agree that, like, when it comes to this stuff, the only fear I have is being here 20 years from now and realizing I missed an opportunity like this. The only fear I have is having regret, because that's the only wasted emotion you're going to have. And when I saw this, I saw an opportunity that I could run with that fits my personality and things that I've done before. And I've got a long sordid story I'll have to tell you sometime, Joe. It's probably not for the webinar, but like I've sold in a lot of different venues and been successful just following the basics and like fine tuning the basics and tweaking them and using your own personality and being genuine, because I know I'm able to help these people at the end of the day. And that's what drives me.
Yeah. And that's probably why you've been successful with every product you've ever sold. You believed in it. And basically everything I just said, doesn't matter what the product is. If you apply that, you can be successful in sales. So there you go, guys. There's a ton of good nuggets for you on, what's working for him. Let's just talk about more about you, not necessarily your whole story there, but what brought you to Easy Pay? Like, how did you find us? Were you like in between jobs, or did you quit a job, or like what had you on the
Well,
market looking? What brought you to us? How'd you find us? What's that whole story there?
I literally came across, I believe it was an ad on Craigslist is where I came across your information. It was in Montana. I've been back in North Dakota. Corona kind of put a wrench in my whole plans for a while because I had a parent that got really sick. And I came back to help my mom get back on her feet, and it kind of took me out of the loop for what I was doing before. And when I came across Easy Pay and the process, like, I've been on the merchant side of it. I've been a business owner who runs credit cards and pays thousands of dollars a month in processing fees, and I was unpleasantly surprised by all the extra little hidden fees. So when I saw the process in the intro video that I watched, it was a no-brainer. There again, a no-brainer. Why not? Why wouldn't you do this?
Yeah.
So that's for me. For me, I can sell things that I believe in. And sorry if I'm a little bit hoarse. I lost my voice. Literally this morning, I couldn't speak until about noon. I couldn't speak, but because I've been speaking to people all week. But it's just part of the thing. It's like I instead of going out and pitching people, I spent the day doubling down on getting through my objections and getting to that bridge of close and figuring out how to do the explanation without saying, yeah, we're just going to take the fees and give them to your clients.
Right.
I went through the whole process of doing that part of the pitch and made sure that I have that down, so that tomorrow when my voice is solid again and I hit 30 stores, I'm going to be able to be effective.
Yeah. You're taking massive action right now. We have our book club going every other Tuesday. We're reading 10X. You're taking massive action. Today, he woke up with no voice, guys. Okay. Like, he woke up this morning, like, he couldn't talk. The man upstairs knew he had this call tonight. So he gave it back to him enough so that he could be on this, but he didn't waste the day. He's in there studying his objections and bridge to close, sharpening his sword, which is just freaking awesome. You're exactly what we're looking for. Like, I know we talked, everybody that's with Easy Pay, I've definitely had this conversation where we're looking for business partners. We're looking for people that see this for what it is. I'm not calling Ted in the morning, like, come on, Ted, let's, high five, hoorah, like, let's go change your life. Ted sees this for what it is. You're building a business. You're the ideal, example of what we're looking for. You're treating it like a business. And you said something a couple minutes ago. You're like, I don't want to look back and have the regret of, not doing this. And that's another thing we talk about. Like, time's going by either way, guys. You might as well sell something that as time goes by, you're financially compensated for the effort and time that you put into it. So how are you looking at this big long term, Ted? I know we've kind of touched on this. Long term, what's your 12-month goal, 24-month goal? Is there a certain magic number, or what's your game plan? What are your goals with Easy Pay?
I want to get to that 10,000 a month on residual as fast as I can. And I know it's a numbers game up front, and staying consistent with what I'm doing and just keeping after it and not getting discouraged on those days where you have 15 people just cross their arms and say, nope.
Yep.
Yep. So what next? There's another person down the road that needs me. And like getting that through your head, that no's are just another step to the next yes, and getting past that rejection. Like my goal long term $10,000 a month. And beyond that, the sky's the limit. Like once I hit that, then we'll readjust and go from there. But that's my immediate goal for right now, that $10,000 a month residual and hitting 30 deals a month. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
That's basically where I'm at.
You do more than 20 deals a month, you'll be at 10 grand in 6 months, possibly less. Just so you know. Now, obviously, disclaimer, that depends on how much processing they do, the accounts you sign, all that. Just so like to have a disclaimer out there. But seriously, man, if you're doing over 20 deals a month in 6 months, watch what happens, man. Because with cash discount, I don't know if you looked at merchant services before, but in the past, we were making 10%, 20% of the profits we are now. So like the pace you're on, if you're signing 20 accounts a month, that's the equivalent of signing 100 accounts a month back in the day, maybe 150. It is literally that much more profitable than the first decade that I was in this industry. You can do in 1-2 years what took me 10 years, and you're hitting really, really good numbers. So stay on track, man. You're definitely you're going to be an example. I can't wait for us to do a testimonial not that far down the road when you break 6 figures in residual income, right? So right here, right on the book, what I would do from day 1 to day 180 to rebuild a 6-figure residual income, folks, I would do exactly what Ted's doing. I'd get my ass out there 6 days a week and go sign 20 to 30 deals a month. And in 6 months, you break over 6 figures a month in not a month, 6-figure a year annual residual income. Ted, that's it right there. It's actually doable. Dustin Glucker did it, I think, in 5 months. Okay, so he did it. So can you. You're on track. You're doing really, really well. So I'm going to end this call. You guys. Yeah, I'm glad, man. We're here to support you. I appreciate the plug for the support. Giving Nick all the credit in the world. You know, he's 2 or 3 rings away when you're with a merchant. It is our pleasure to work with real business partners like you, man. We appreciate it. So I'm just going to finish this with the last call. It's the question that I ask all of our guests. If you could give one bit of advice to anybody that's on this call or going to end up listening, you know, some advice on how to be successful in getting their business off the ground, what would that bit of advice be?
Keep your eye on the prize. Anytime you feel like like you're not able to do this, or you're not good enough, or that's a door I don't want to go into, think about what the alternative is. Where do you want to go? This is the vehicle in front of you that's set out for you to drive to your dreams. And if you don't, I mean, you just be like any other car parked along the road, not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, life is short. Take it by the horns. Action is everything.
Love it, man. Keep your eye on the prize. And when things get tough out there, and like you said, you go 15 people back to back, they got their arms crossed and not interested, get out. If your eyes on the prize, that stuff doesn't bother you because you're literally already thinking and envisioning and visualizing the prize. And that's different for each and every one of us. Ted, you're a rock star, man. I appreciate you taking the time. Stay warm out there, man. Thanks for all your great feedback. Can't wait to do another one of these. And let's make it a 6-month goal. 6-month goal.
Appreciate you guys.
6-month goal, 6-figure residual income. I think the number's like $8,666 in residuals is 6 figures. And your goal is 10 grand. So let's give it 6 to 8 months. And we're going to do another one of these when you break 6-figure a month or a year residual.
Sounds good, brother. I appreciate you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ted. Talk to you soon, man. Let me hit your camera. All right, guys. So that's Ted. He is up there in North Dakota. Awesome example, exactly what we're looking for. He's following the steps, but making it him. That was one of the biggest things I was hoping to get out of this call. And because they're unscripted, we don't necessarily know what we're going to get, but he hit so many nails on the head. He reiterated so many things that we talk about. Number one being just the fundamentals. But the biggest thing that I want people to get out of this was he's being himself. He's just taking what works and he's being himself. And I think that is one of the biggest things that people are missing in sales. They got to have fun out there, and you got to be yourself. When you go and you try to be somebody that you're not, or you try to be somebody else, like you can try to mirror the strategies and the lines and all that stuff, but you have to be you about it. And one thing I didn't go over with Ted, but I know because we're talking with him on the phone, is he's having fun, right? He believes in this. He's having fun. He knows he's going to help people. And those are the keys to going out there and being successful. It's one thing to do it for 1 week, Ted. It's another thing to do it for years. And if you can keep those fundamentals and keep it fun and just be you every single day, or at least as many days as possible over a couple year window, guys, that's how you get to, $250,000 a year in residual income, $500,000 a year in residual income. People are doing that literally from door to door sales with us, but they're the people that are keeping it on the basics, don't change things up, have fun, and they truly are just themselves. So folks, I'm going to leave it with that. That was a phenomenal call. We're at 25 minutes here. If you're just checking out the industry, or you're just checking out Easy Pay, I'm not even going to throw up an ad or a banner or anything. We are looking for real entrepreneurs that want to build a business. We're looking to help 50 people reach over $50,000 a month in residual income. That is my personal goal over the next 3 years. 50 people over 50 grand a month in residual income. If you want to build a real business and treat this for what it is, it's a life-changing opportunity, and work with a company that's not only focused on the numbers, but the lifestyle that's associated with it. Ted was talking about me and him meeting. I said, I hope it's at one of our camp trips or adventure trips. Okay, we're doing things on the back end. We're encouraging each other. In our morning meetings, we're talking about being healthy, contributing. What are you doing to grow and be better? We have a book club every other week. It's not only about merchant services. That's what Ted's here for. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you make residual income and build a business. But on the back end of that business, who are you going to become in the journey with Easy Pay? If you're looking for a company that wants to help you build that dream lifestyle, and this is the vehicle and the tools to do it, that's what we're doing here. We'd love if you'd schedule a call. I'd love to talk with you. Easy, the letters easydirectsales.com. You can go to the exact same site that Ted referenced, watch a video that explains working with us, what the opportunity is, and on the next page, schedule a call. You'll hook up with me or somebody on the Easy Pay team. We'll break it down. If it's right for you, let's build a business. Thanks for your time, guys. See you at the top. Go kill it.